muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, there we go. In my back.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.
Welcome. Yeah. Coming to you live from the TFC studios, it's Riffles and Rants, episode 3.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast. This is episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3. We're back.
We're back. Last one was all about stillwater tactics, spawning fish in still waters.
Whether they're successful, tips and tactics for doing so.
We had some very controversial statements. So how we're going to start this one off is we've been trying to do games, so I got a game.
Okay,
I didn't realize how serious people take their scud fishing, apparently.
Apparently, there's some people that have very intimate relationships with their scuds.
I think there is.
I mean, it's not me. I'm not into it. But hey, if you're into your scuds, you do you.
Well, and here, okay, I'm going to clarify something with scuds. Scuds work great in tailwaters. The scud topic that I said scuds suck, I was really, it was all about stillwater fly fishing, and I still think they suck in big still waters.
Yeah,
Alpine lakes, I don't consider that still water for me. Even though it's a lake, I'm just saying
they
that's
eat
alpine
everything,
fishing. Alpine
let's be honest.
works great in alpine lakes. They work great. Like, sow bugs are amazing in, northern rivers from here.
Or eastern.
So when I said scuds suck, they do suck, but in big, Ontario spinny, I think they still suck. So here's the game. Since everyone got so upset about my scud sucks talk, I'm giving you one fly out of a leech, a scud, and a chironomid, and you can only have one fly to fish that in lakes for the whole year. You get one fly. So what fly are you choosing? Are you really sticking with a scud still? Because if so, maybe you'll change my mind. But I'm not going with the scud.
If I have to eat for the rest of my life and I only have 3 flies, and it's a leech of some kind, a scud, and a chironomid, right now, I'll tell you right now, scud is on the bottom, and I'll probably take the leech because it's more, you can do more stuff with it rather than just dead drift it.
Yeah, I really hit a little.
Yeah, you hit a nerve.
I hit a nerve with some scud people. I'm
Lovers.
sorry. I'm sorry, all you scud lovers. I apologize.
Keep
I
your
don't know.
scuds, Good for you.
All right, let's get straight into it.
All right.
You're leading this one. You got all the info over there.
All right. So in the last episode, we touched on that we were going to discuss some of the new regulations that came down in Wyoming. So, and the reason that I bring it up is you might wonder, we're a Colorado-based company. We fish primarily in Colorado, so why do we care? Well, based on the pure data, up to 96% of the usage, particularly on gray reef, is out-of-state guided fishermen. So considering we're close to Colorado, or we're close to Wyoming, and almost all of the fishermen I know fish that section of river at some point during the year, it actually probably does affect out-of-state fishermen or have a greater influence on the regulations than in-state fishermen because it's used by 96% out-of-state customers.
Well, and this whole talk is based on regulations that were made from the surveys they sent to out-of-state and in-state people. So these regulations had influence from out-of-state
because
people
we
as
were
well,
asked
because we were asked questions through email
last year, right?
about all of this, and now it's all coming to fruition.
So the new regulations. So let's first talk about what the new regulations were supposed to be solving. So apparently, on gray reef in particular, which, if you don't know, is below Alcova Dam and all the way down basically to Casper. But, let's just say Gray Reef Dam to Government Bridge. The new regulations were to prevent maiming of fish and basically to protect the resource, and to additionally, they did close down some more areas to fishing during the spawn, during certain times of the year, right? So they increased 15 days on the red section of Gray Reef. Is that right?
All of these regulations weren't just for Gray Reef, though.
No. The overall regulations were from Seminole, all the way down to Government Bridge.
Yes.
Those
I wanted to clarify that.
Okay, so it is, and so let's get into the different regulations that have been passed to prevent the maiming of fish and to protect spawning fish. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. On the gray reef section, as well. So here's the regulations that are going to affect all of the sections
There, yeah,
first.
start with that.
Okay. Single barbless hooks per lure. So you can still have 3 flies, but each fly has to be barbless,
And I'm assuming
period.
that means streamers, if they're articulated, can only have one hook because one streamer is one fly. It has to be single point.
That's right. That's what I would assume.
It'd be double point if it was one fly. So I'm assuming streamers can only have one hook. No one's really clarified
So
that.
like this fly right here has 2 hooks, one at the top, one at the bottom. So you'd have to get rid of one of these hooks is what I'm assuming on a streamer, right?
Yeah.
And like for guys that throw gear, that means
Yeah, treble hooks are out the window.
treble hooks are gone. You have one hook and it has to be barbless even if it's on a spinner,
Yeah.
right? Okay. That's one thing. So that is all the way from Seminole down to Government Bridge. One single barbless hook. Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay. The other thing that has changed is on 2 of the 4 sections. So I'm going to give you the 4 sections. So you have the Miracle Mile section. You have
Fremont.
Fremont Canyon, also known as Cardwell Access.
Yep.
Right? Something called After Bay. And then you got Gray Reef.
Yes.
That's the sections in order,
Yeah.
right? So all 4 of them have the single hook required, barbless signification. 2 of them are also getting rid of what are known as pegged eggs or pegged detractors. They actually pegged beads, but they've changed the definition to be pegged detractors are no longer allowed on any of those sections. So that would be a pegged worm.
What do you mean any of those sections? It's only 2 sections.
On the 2 sections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 sections that it is now banned on are Gray Reef and the Cardwell, AKA Fremont Canyon section.
Yeah.
Okay. So on Miracle Mile, you still can use peg detractors. And then on the After Bay section, apparently.
And you can
do
still throw bait on single point bar. Like bait is still not
that. Yeah. You can still put a night crawler on a barbless hook.
on a single point barbless hook.
Yeah. On the Miracle Mile.
Yes.
Okay.
And
After Bay, I'm assuming.
After Bay.
Yeah. So those are still baited sections as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason for doing that is to prevent the maiming of fish. And apparently it says that there 1 in 4 fish sampled in the Gray Reef section. Actually, no, that's
the whole
whole
of it.
section. It was all sampled. It was all shocked for several years.
to the
1 in
Miracle Mile
4,
and Gray Reef.
1 in 4 fish. This is according to, just to let you know, this is based on Wyoming Game and Fish Fisheries Manager Mark Smith. So I'm just quoting straight from an article from Mark Smith, that 1 in 4 fish were sampled with mandibular injuries or other injuries throughout their body. And of those, many of them were life-threatening to where they did not believe that the fish was going to survive based on that injury.
Yes.
So, again, the intent was to prevent maiming of fish. That's what we're talking about. That's
Yeah.
the overarching reason.
Additionally,
Now,
you want to talk about boat access on the Miracle Mile now?
so yeah, let's just go into the
Because
regulations.
those are the
So,
only 2 regulations for
hardwood,
non-boating.
Yeah, for tackle.
Yeah.
For tackle. Those are the 2 regulations for tackle.
Correct.
Yes, they did want to. They were trying to push for 2 flies, not 3. That did not go
Yes.
through. That's not part of
But you
this
have
yet.
another quote from a fly shop talking about that.
Yes.
Okay.
The other port thing that they are changing particularly is boat access on the Miracle Mile. And this is a big one. We float this section a lot. We have customers that float this section. Everyone likes this section. So the Miracle Mile has the upper, what we know is the upper section and the lower section that are cut
The
off by
bridge
a
cuts
bridge.
them off,
The
yeah.
bridge cuts it off. Apparently, they are pushing for it to be no boats above the bridge. So from Cortez Dam down to the bridge, no boat access at all.
Yes.
And then boats will have to access the lower, have the ability to access the lower
From
section.
bridge down.
Yeah. So I think the upper section is 3 miles and the bottom section is 5
It
miles or
just
something.
depends on the reservoir,
It does.
lake level.
But let's just call it, it's not quite half, but
No,
it's
it may be somewhat even.
maybe half, close to
Maybe.
half, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is one thing that they are, so that is the other change that's being made.
And then there is the one regulation being put on guides now.
So, and it's not even really a
Not
regulation.
it's registering.
Registering. So apparently in Wyoming, and this is for Wyoming statewide. This is not just guides that guide. that
Exactly. This is
section.
all Wyoming.
Guides will have to pay, I think it's
$600.
$600 per boat that they own. And then if you own more boats than that, they have to pay $100 additional for every boat after the first one.
And it's forever who owns the boat. So
Whoever
if
owns
the
the
guide
boat.
owns the boat, it's the guide. If the fly shop owns it, I believe it's the fly shop. That's who's paying it.
But you don't have to have a guiding license. You don't have to have a guiding permit. You basically just say, I'm
Well,
guiding.
there are personal permits there, I believe.
Okay, that part I don't know.
So that's
Anyway,
besides the
if you're gonna guide on it, you have to basically pay. So to me, they haven't. This is important. They haven't limited in any capacity the number of boats that are on those sections of river or any river in Wyoming. There's no limit on numbers on rivers in Wyoming. Yeah. So here's some more interesting information.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with the pressure that all of them are getting? And
Let me just go through the
stats you
facts.
have
So
for
I'm going to go through all the stats. So we now know what the regulations are. We know why they're putting the regulations in place. And now I'm just going to give you statistics additionally from a commercial standpoint. First of all, in the year 1995, there were only 230 boats all year that were commercial trips. This is on the Gray Reef section. Gray Reef to Government Bridge, 230. In 2022, there were 4,424 boats. I mean, I'm sure that's a close estimate, but whatever. This is just quoted straight from.
Well, and we do know that it's valid info because when we floated it years ago, we had someone who was conducting the survey ask us if we were out of state, if we were guide service, if we were.
We had been asked before.
Where
yeah.
we floated, how it was. So we know that they were conducting this research at the boat ramps.
Yeah. So that is from 230 boats to 4,424 boats. So I don't know what the percentage is, but basically it's,
Yeah, who knows? That's a lot.
it's a huge
Significant.
increase, significant increase. Of that, 96% were guided trips. Of that, 90% of the 96% were out-of-state users taking those guided trips. Okay. Additionally, in 2001, there were no known commercial boats floating the Miracle Mile. Now, maybe there were a boat here or there, 2001, but from a survey standpoint, there were none.
That's what they said.
This is what the claim is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wyoming Fish and Game.
Yeah. In 2022, there were over 2,000 of them, and again, 96% of them were commercial floaters. So
I
basically,
thought it was
what-
99%.
do I have that number wrong? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's right here, 99%.
Yeah.
So either way you look at it, 90 to 99, it's still a significant amount that are guided. So the commercial use on those two sections of river. So right now we're only talking about Gray Reef and the Miracle Mile.
Commercial float.
Commercial float use is well over 90%, even on the low end
Commercial.
of the usage is commercial usage. Okay. So what that brings us to is this, just so that everyone knows, it has been attempted multiple times to regulate the commercial fishing industry in Wyoming. So this is how many times it has not passed. Now, I don't know who's voting on it, doesn't really matter. It has been put up for a vote in 1991, 1993, 2005, 2014, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2023, and now in 2025.
Wow.
So it has failed that many times. That's how many times it's been looked at.
Yeah.
So if you look at how many times, all the way back to 1991, there was obviously some concern that there needed to be some regulation throughout the state, right? And then if you look at the numbers from 1995 to 2022, the amount of commercial boats that have increased, that directly corresponds with the amount of maiming of fish that has happened.
Yeah. There's just more pressure overall on the
Overall,
fisheries.
yeah. And that's not to mention how much more wade fishing pressure there's been. Because
Specifically on the mile.
this is specifically
Or,
boat. Yeah,
Well, Fremont, obviously, because no one floats Fremont.
yeah, you're not floating Fremont. But the point is that the commercial usage is boat usage only that I'm reading. So that has nothing to
But
do
no one
with.
really wade fishes.
No one really
Gray
wade fishes
reefs
great.
that
I mean,
much.
the dam, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot of other great access.
It's a
And
float fishery.
It's a big, wide river, so it's tough to wade fish. So the question then becomes, and this is what we're going to try, this is what you and I are going to debate or ask the question of. The regulations that were put in place, are they actually addressing the problem? And is there other things that should be done to address the problem more so than this that are not being done? And why are those not being done?
Yeah, what are the better options?
What are some
Because
other options?
Me and you came up with a lot better options, in my opinion. So I think that's what we'll really get into and debate
Focus
right
on.
now. Yeah.
So where do you want to, let's just start with the least controversial, which might be the boating part. So real quick, there's one more stat that I want everyone to have in their mind before we go into this. There's one more
Before we
important
get into
stat.
boats?
Before we get into boats. I'm just going to say this stat was pretty eye-opening a little bit to me based on the usage and who's using it. But the gray reef section, particularly, there's an estimated 30,000 fish in that section of river, okay? It is estimated, and this is, again, the data that I'm collecting here from an article written by the Fisheries Department, 50,000 are caught a year. So there are 50,000 fish caught every year on that section, but there's only 30,000 fish in the river.
Yeah.
Which tells you, I mean,
Every fish is at least getting caught once, if not twice.
If yeah,
yeah, on average.
on
I
average.
guess,
So
whatever.
so I mean, some of them might get caught 3 times or 4 times. I mean, there's stupid
10
fish that just
times,
want to
and
keep.
other one-
Yeah, and some don't get caught at all. But just given the fact fish are being caught multiple times, so that's not going to change. No matter what, the number of fish being caught is not going to change if you don't limit usage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all I wanted to get into. So let's get into boats now. So the upper section of the Miracle Mile, which part of it has some boat access. First of all, it's all primitive boat access. It's not like real boat ramps. It's, use at your own risk.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And then there are some real primitive ones, like, for example, with our boats that you can just kind of get a boat. If you can lift your boat, you can get it down to the water. So that upper section of water is...
There's no true ramps or boat
Right.
access like Gray Reef.
Right. There's no true public boat put in that was actually designed to put a boat
Yes.
in. Okay.
So it's usually, the way you float it is usually handicap access to the bridge for a short upper one, or your handicap to wherever you want to try to take out down lower. All the
And there's
way to,
2 or 3 lower ones
there's two-
down there
yeah.
that people kind of use, right?
Yeah.
So that upper section, and this is why the floating part gets so interesting to me. The interesting thing is that the Miracle Mile everyone knows, has large runs of lake run fish. So they are coming up out of Pathfinder. They come up into the Miracle Mile section.
Yeah.
And this is your experience, are most of them during that time, they're all through the system, obviously, but where they make it up to spawn, is it above the bridge or below the bridge?
It's mostly above the bridge. There are spots where I've seen them spawning below the bridge, but the bulk of it is above the bridge.
Perfect. Totally agree. That's typically, in fact, so much so that Wyoming Fisheries has put in a man-made red.
Yeah, they dropped gravel.
They brought in gravel. There's a sign that says, "This is a man-made red." And now you tell me, what does the sign say?
It says, like wade fishing, or please do not walk through the river. This is not word for word, but something along these lines. Please do not walk through the river like over reds, but fishing is allowed.
So
it says you can fish this, just don't walk over it.
It says that we have brought gravel in. This is a spawning ground. This is where fish are going to be reproduced. And it says, please stay out of the river and don't walk across the red, but please enjoy fishing here. Does it not say that?
That's my take on it. Yeah.
That's exactly what
And
it says.
people fish it
I
a
mean,
lot.
yeah. So in that particular now there's many other sections of that river that have reds also.
Yes.
Lots of them. Okay. So now let's talk about the boating portion of it. And here's where the concern would be from this is why it's interesting that all of the regulations that I see were about maiming fish and protecting spawning fish. However, on the Miracle Mile, we're now going to take, well, first of all, let me ask you this before I get to the boat part. Do boats have a bigger impact on reds or people wade fishing?
People wade fishing because you are walking
Potentially,
over reds.
Potentially, if
Stomping
you're
reds, it
walking,
kills fish.
Yeah, you're walking on the edge.
Whereas rowing, you might be drifting over reds, whether you know it or not, whether you're fishing it or not, but you're not stomping on all of them.
And a lot of times you're not sitting there parking your boat over a red.
No, I mean you shouldn't. People
Right.
Probably there's some people that probably do, right?
Or if you drop an anchor in a red, I mean, obviously you're going to destroy all those.
For sure.
But overall, if a boat is floating over the red, and let's even say that you're unethical and you rip a fish off that red while it's sitting there spawning.
Yeah.
If you're floating past, you got one fish off of that. If you're wade fishing and you're standing over
You're
a red,
people are spending hours at those certain spots.
or days.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple people over days.
Yep.
So now,
So let's just talk about what this is going to do.
okay, what do you think it's going to do?
It is going to completely congest bridge down with boats
Yep.
and completely congest wade fishermen from the bridge up.
Yeah.
And everything was everything gets busy during certain times. And I mean, we had a guy, like we were floating at one time past one of the lower holes that's very popular. And we weren't even fishing.
At
We were
low
trying-
water, too.
at
By the
low
way,
water.
at low water.
At low water.
Yeah.
And you can float it. I mean, you've been able to float it. That's the section you're still going to be able to float year round.
Yes.
And we were trying to avoid this guy, we didn't want to row through the bulk of where they were trying to fish.
How many was they?
Well, yeah, and there was about 7 people fishing one run on
On
3
both?
and 2 or 3 and 4 on 3 on one side, 4 on the other side.
Wade
So we were trying to
fishermen.
go behind them to not be in their way. And the guy was pissed off at us, yelling at us when we were not fishing it, trying to not run over water. So we were still, I mean, I know guides or people that are floating will just go and take their one run at it and still fish where they're wade fishing.
I mean,
And
we
that's
weren't
when-
even doing that.
That's when, fights really break out. But we were trying to get out of their way and they were still mad at us.
Yeah.
Yet, at that man-made red, we have heard stories of
Above
wade
the
fishing
bridge.
above the bridge, of people wade fishing it on both sides. I mean, there'll be, 12 guys stacked up in there sometimes. Stupid.
Yeah.
But we've heard of people fist fights, guns being pulled,
Yep.
and that's wade fishermen versus wade fishermen. Has nothing to do with float fishermen.
I mean, and we've witnessed. We've
Yeah,
been
we witnessed
floating
that,
the upper section.
like a
and-
guy stomping across the river at one guy
Yeah.
at that spot.
Yeah,
And
coming
there
to
were
fight
two,
him.
Two wade fishermen.
Yeah, wade fishermen. It had nothing to do with boats.
So that's where it brings my point.
So what's going to happen to the wade
People are
fishermen?
not going to want to fish the lower sections anymore because it's so congested with boats, right? So it's going to put them all the way up there.
You mean wade fishermen?
Yeah, wade fishermen. Wade fishermen are not going to want to fish that much now, maybe below the bridge if there's a lot of boat traffic, because they don't want to be. All the boats are going to be forced there. None of them are going to be spread up higher.
Yeah.
So now it's congestion with boats down there. Now it's even more congestion with wade fishermen. With wade fishing is more popular during those low water times when lake run fish are in there, that are in the most important section of where they spawn.
Exactly.
So there's going to be more foot traffic over the most important sections of spawning grounds in the Miracle Mile. And let's talk about the brown trout there. I went back through for years, all the way to the 1980s. I never found one thing that brown trout were stocked in Pathfinder.
So every fish you catch in the Miracle Mile is a
Wild brown
trout that came up from Pathfinder. And there's very few. I mean, we've caught some that are in there year round, but
Yeah.
the bulk of the numbers of them are not there year round.
So now, knowing that there's a truly awesome population of wild brown trout that are successful spawners. Now we're going to put more foot traffic in the most important sections of where they spawn, and they're wild.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me. And that's something that hasn't been talked about. That's something that wasn't in the Fly Shop's take on it. It was a similar take, which I agreed with the report that we read today on what they were saying. But I don't think people understand that the bulk of the foot traffic is going to be in the most important sections of spawning for those brown trout that are wild.
So instead of it being spread out, so you got foot traffic and boat traffic spread out somewhat equally from top of river to bottom of river. Now you're going to have the whole upper section that's full of wade fishermen and the whole bottom section that's full of boats, and it's not helpful for anyone. So instead of spreading it all out,
I think
all
it's
you
just
did is
hurting
hurt
the
it.
fishery more.
And on top of that, if you're really that worried about the spawning portion of it or the damage to fish,
Yes.
now you're still allowing pegged eggs.
You're still allowing pegged eggs, and you're not closing off any of the important gravel areas like you did, like they have
On the reef.
On the reef.
None.
Makes no sense to me. For a wild, sustainable brown trout population.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Now, I'm not saying that they should have not limited there's gravel on the reef that's already been closed. It's called the Reds. And now now they've added 15 days to that closure on the reef down there. So that's great, whatever. You're not supposed to fish that.
Yeah, and whatever
That's
they
good.
do, like right now, you can't be mad at people for fishing the man-made red because it says you can fish it, right? Like that's part of it. But when they did all these regulations, why was there not regulations that shut down the man-made red, the areas of the cliffs that people, like I've seen 15 people stacked up in one of the spawning areas up in the canyon.
I mean, they're there at 3 a.m. with headlamps on trying to get to a spot to fish some of those
And not
places.
everyone knows that they're exactly spawning areas sometimes. Like years ago when we first stumbled upon it, we had fished some of that stuff and then realized that
what was going on.
like they actually are successfully spawning up here.
And some of it's not really easy to see.
No, and some of it, like the deep runs, like it's still like if you're fishing the deep part of it, you're not fishing exactly the red, so whatever. But you can still fish pegged eggs in those most important areas, yet they force all of the wade fishing foot traffic up there.
Into
where you
that
can
area.
Stomp reds up on the upper section, and you can't. And it's just gonna. I think it was a bad idea.
I mean, I think that if you're going to do the whole thing. Now, part of what the regulation is supposed to be was to see if they believe that the pegged egg situation was actually causing the maiming. Because, again, Mark Smith was quoted in saying that, let me see here. There is actually no empirical data to prove that pegged eggs are causing more damage. So it's a theory because apparently, and we'll get into more of if it is or it's not, if it's done correctly, if it's actually, there is no true actual data that pegged eggs cause more harm than any other type of fishing. Now, I will tell you, barbs agree 1,000%.
And when pegged, like we talked about, when pegged eggs are
Done incorrectly.
Yeah, when they're that long behind it, obviously it's tearing mandibles off.
Yeah, or behind their
whatever,
head or
in the
whatever.
eye,
Yeah,
blind.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
I understand that part of it. So by getting rid of pegged eggs, you're getting rid of the people that fish them incorrectly,
Right.
or don't rig them correctly. So I understand that.
But I will tell you this, like sometimes I wonder if the pegged egg, to me it's a red herring. To me, banning the pegged egg altogether in all of its forms, great, whatever, don't need it, can still catch fish.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people who hate the pegged eggs, they hate fishing eggs anyway, in any of their form.
I agree.
Because in some ways, if you think about it, you can take any type of beaded version. You can take a soft plastic egg. They're still legal. You can take any of those, put it on a single barbless hook,
Yes.
right? And that fish is going to inhale it.
Yeah.
So is that more damaging when it's a single hook going down and they're going to inhale it and it's actually down in gills and all kinds of stuff because they think it's a real food source?
Yeah.
Or is the hook being there and they eat the egg that doesn't have, using a pegged egg, I've never had a deep throat hooked fish.
No.
Not one time. It's always, I mean, and for me, it's probably 80% in the mouth.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see. I'm actually happy this is happening with the egg. I just wish they would have done it on the mile too instead of one of the others, just to see if you would see the mile recover, which maybe it's harder because if those are lake run fish, they're not in the system. So you can't test, like you can't find those
Right.
fish like they might have gone all the way back to the reservoir and you won't get the data.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's probably why they did it that way.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an interesting test to see
That's true because
if you find less maimed fish.
the fish in the reef are actually like resident fish. They have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Like they can't go up, they can't go down. They're there all the time. So that's an easier probably
To
one
find
for
those
biologists
fish.
to find those fish for
Yeah.
sure. But my thing is that additionally they haven't banned bait down there.
And that's crazy to me, dude.
So you can put a Potski salmon egg
On
or-
a single barbless hook.
I mean, or for that matter, you can catch a spawning fish, squeeze out the eggs, and hook a live trout.
Yeah. Why hasn't that stuff been banned
That's
on,
not
on
banned.
the mile?
So what do you think a trout's going to do to that egg?
It's going to inhale it.
It's going to inhale it, and you'll be getting it out of its colon to try to release it.
I know.
I mean, it's crazy. So
I
what did you really accomplish?
Yeah.
And I think that then
Well,
that
since we're on the bead talk,
yeah,
you took the measurements of those streamers.
Yeah, so
right
here's
there.
the other thing. So I want everyone to think about this. So and again, I am not like the cheerleader for the pegged egg.
No.
All
I don't
I'm
care
try-
if it gets banned. I mean,
Ban it, I don't care. But what I am saying is that I think that it is a little bit arrogant.
or getting false blame.
I think it's getting false blame by people that don't like it at all. They think that it's just snagging. But let me run this by you. So I'll use the Goldie.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got a Goldie here that measures from the head to the back hook at 2 1/4 inches.
And that's one of the smaller size goldies,
And this is
I
a
believe.
smaller streamer.
Yeah.
Okay. And this
There's
this
goldies
one
that are bigger.
this one has 2 hooks.
Yes.
Okay. So this would be illegal all the way around.
Yeah.
So what you'd have
Depending
to
on what
do,
hook you're cutting off,
yeah, depending on which hook
which you're
cutting
probably going to
off,
want to keep the back hook on there to get the most hookups.
You would
correct?
think.
That's my take on streamer fishing.
But we've got a streamer that's 2 inches long. So I'm not sure how there's a whole lot of difference because if that fish were to eat the head of this as its primary target,
It's the same distance of a pegged egg.
yeah,
pegged
it's the
worm,
same
whatever.
distance as a pegged egg.
Yeah.
So is this not snagging a fish? You
Unless
don't know
getting
which
rid of
end
that
it
barb,
ate.
it makes all the difference. Which I don't know if the barb completely changes it. I know the barb helps.
It'll help,
You know,
Like,
but
and
getting
I'm
rid
all
of the
for
barb.
that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you, and this is a small one. I mean, what if you've got a 3-inch streamer or a 4-inch streamer?
traditional swing flies
Yep.
that have a very, if it's a larger swing fly and it's got that hook, it's
Yep.
at least 2 inches, if not more, back.
Yeah.
And that's something swinging across the water column.
That's what I was just going to say.
where they're probably like striking it aggressively. And it brings me to the Kelly Gallup quote, the fish with streamers and that type of thing. They're either going to eat it or they're going to wear it.
I mean,
I love that quote.
I mean, honestly, like you're literally taking a 2 or 3 inch fly with a hook on it and swinging it. And during that time of year, okay, let's say you're fishing below a red or you're fishing somewhere that's not directly on the red.
Mm-hmm.
You're swinging it at fish that are pissed off because it's the spawn, right?
Probably.
So are they really eating it to eat it? Or are they eating it because they're angry, so they're slashing at
No
it?
one will ever know.
So how many of these are going to get stuck in a mandible anyway? But
Yeah.
this is okay, and the single hook behind behind an
And I'm not
egg
saying
is
we should
not.
get rid of streamers. I love streamer fishing.
Everyone
But
does.
it's when you try to just blame it. When they're trying, it feels like everyone's trying to blame everything on the pegged egg. I think there is things that are not being looked at correctly.
Yeah, I think it's false blame. Like honestly, I'll be glad to see go ahead and ban it, and I'd love to see if it changes. But I've got quotes from guides that they're not using pegged eggs anyway.
Yeah.
There's
Who
a lot
are-
of them that won't use pegged eggs anyway.
Who are putting a lot of pressure on the rivers that aren't using the pegged eggs.
And
No matter what, like we talked about earlier, if you're fishing, you're getting a fish to eat a fake bug and you're shanking them. Like
Yeah, let's be really clear about this. No matter what, you're taking something that is not a bait item, that looks like a bait item, getting them to believe it's a bait item, and then you're shanking them somewhere in their body to reel them in.
And that's catch and release.
Yeah, that's catch and release. So regardless of what you're doing, you're shanking a fish somewhere in the head area, hopefully in the mouth, but you're shanking them because you got them to eat something that's not really a food source.
Yeah.
That's no different with a pegged egg than anything else. Now, it's not that, again, I'm not the cheerleader for pegged eggs. I'm just saying that blaming it for all of this when your usage didn't go down at all, that's my thing. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Is that the usage is 96% guided trips. Commercial trips. So who's putting the most pressure on the fish and causing the damage? So it'll be really interesting. If you get rid of the pegged egg.
And the single hook barbless.
I think that's probably.
That's the biggest. That's the thing I agree with that will help.
100%. Like there's
especially with streamers.
And you know, and there's a quote from a guide shop that says, you know, there will be a learning curve for people who don't fish. And that's good. Like you got to become a better angler. Yeah. You got to keep pressure on a fish. You got to set the hook well. You got to keep, like there's things you'll have to change. So that's awesome.
The thing that should have also happened, if they care that much about these maimed fish and trying to turn if they think they're cratering and trying to make it go back up, before it should have gone to a 2-fly max.
I agree. Yeah.
With the single hook barbless. Like, I mean, that's Montana.
Right. Montana, I mean, that's what it is everywhere.
And their fisheries seem to be very healthy.
Yep.
So I think that should have been pushed more before some other things.
I agree. I think that there was some things that were done backwards, in my opinion, that were, I mean, I don't know who the influence was that drove the regulations that have come down. But after a 2-year study, you'll be able to see if there's.
Yeah.
But I do believe that and here's the hard thing, you won't really know if the pegged egg was the problem or if the barbed hook was the problem. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden maimed fish go down, how are you going to know if it's because that you got rid of the barbless hook or you got rid of the pegged egg?
I know.
There really won't be an answer.
No.
I just do know this, that particularly on the mile, they should have gotten rid of bait. They should have done what they did with the barbless hook. That's great. But if you were going to have a place that you're going to get rid of a pegged egg, you might have wanted to try it there and then not put all of the wade fishermen up there if you want to keep a self-sustaining brown trout
It's
fishery.
only going to hurt this. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
That part of it's the most insane part.
And it's like, I mean, brown trout are more of a hardy, harder to kill type of fish from just,
They can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I just think that it was not well thought out.
Yeah,
Some things were. I just think it could have been done better.
And I will tell you that there is a petition going around right now to stop the boat portion of it, to a petition trying to block the banning of boats on the upper section. So we're going to probably put a link there to have anyone who's interested to be able to help that cause. Because I really, truly do believe that the boat portion, switching banning boats on the upper
all
section.
Or nothing, in my opinion.
Either ban all floating or keep it the way that it is so that it spreads out the pressure, because I think you're going to hurt the fishery.
But they're never going to ban all floating because the commercial, the guy, like they lose one complete river. That is a massive river that
would put even more.
You
know how much more pressure that would put on the reef?
Oh, I know.
If you got rid of all float
and that's
fishing
why I don't
on
think
it.
it ever will happen.
Well, and it's obvious that the commercial influence on the regulations is there.
Yes.
That's why the number was not limited, and that's why the pegged egg situation was involved.
I agree with that.
So, rightly so, they make a living on it. I'm not even downing it. Like,
No,
I mean, everyone's
not that
allowed
it's
to make a
wrong.
living, and we all love to fish, and people come from all over the country and they want to go to that fishery, and they should have people that can take them down that fishery. I'm just saying that it's a little disingenuous to claim that when you're 96% of the usage, which is causing all of the damage, that it's the actual tackle that is the problem and not the usage.
Yeah.
That's just a little bit disingenuous to me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which I don't have an opinion on it before I say this comment because I'm not from there. I don't guide there. Like, I like all the shops there. Like everybody, think everyone's great. Getting that out there. But like, there's
TFC
even
supports
battles.
all the guide shops. Thank you.
I mean, there's even battles between fly shops there.
Oh yeah, you can see
And
it on
that's all-
social media.
that's all I'll say.
Yeah, there's like low key stuff. Like when you look when you dive through the social media posts and comments, like there's some real.
So there's some turmoil going on the old North Platte right
It
now. I
is.
guess
Be
that's
careful
what
out
the
there.
point is right now.
That's why everyone carries.
Tread carefully.
Everyone's carrying guns up there.
Dude.
Watch your tires.
Fudge. So yeah, what's your?
My
Do you have
final-
anything else to add? Do you have
No.
any final remarks for
You
this
know,
whole topic?
The whole topic is just this. We all love to fish. Everyone wants to do what's best for the fishery. Sometimes there's an arm wrestle about what that is. The only thing that I'll say is this, is that wild fisheries do need to be protected. But I think that it's important that finding out the real cause of any type of decline is important before regulation is put in. Regulation for the sake of regulation, all it is overreach. It's not actually protecting anything. So make sure that the biology and the facts are there before regulation is put in, and get input from everybody that's involved, and not just the people who stand to gain the most from it.
I agree.
That's it.
I will say that we were just in Montana and we saw firsthand that seasons and special regulations, I think, well, and just they don't even have the amount of pressure up there that some of these things do.
Yeah.
But there's that amazing fisheries up there, and from what I understand, there's only one stocked river there, so it's all wild. So regulations have benefited Montana, but I think they were more thought out in certain areas than some of the things we're starting to see.
Yeah, and I will tell you though, I think Montana can be also, I mean, just from a little bit, some of it, like you got to be careful because of overregulation too, because
Agreed.
trying to read through the Montana regulations, I mean, you need an abacus and like a supercomputer. Like it's like mining crypto, dude,
bit.
like trying to figure out how to do it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So that's it. Take care of your waters, and talk to people. If you know biologists or you want to get involved, like get involved in some of the conversations if and when you can. If you want to save particularly wild fisheries, we don't have a ton of them in Colorado the way other places do.
Yeah.
I mean, just in our last podcast, we talked about, 1 million fish being put in a reservoir. So, I mean,
a lot.
we have a pretty healthy stocking program that goes on in this state.
Yeah.
So take care of your wild fisheries. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it.
Are we ending it
today.
there?
I think we're ending it there.
All right. Well, again, to all my scud haters, I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. Gosh dang.
We need to get I'm going to get you a hat that says,
Gosh.
I hate scuds, just so that everyone knows
Still
who
hate
you
them
are.
for certain things.
I agree with you.
All right. There's a little bit of like sarcasm there. I know they freaking work. I just suck at fishing them apparently.
Yeah.
And I catch a lot of stillwater fish on leeches and chironomids. So
So
I'm going with a leech or a chironomid.
and you can keep the scud.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
See ya.